right, we're live. Welcome back for another episode of Sit Down. We are joined by folks over on Project ARW3. Um, gents, first and foremost, uh, thanks for taking time out of your evenings to talk with us about Project ARW3. And if you're willing, just go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Yeah, Seabass, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm Seabass. I'm the oldest in the group, original founder of ARW3. Um, 28, Army Engineer Officer, prior enlisted combat engineer. I turned the project over to Lucky when I deployed this year.
And I am Captain Stroker, active duty infantryman in the Army. Started doing Milsim back in 2023 when the start of Arma Reforged broke out. So that's about it from me. Leatherneck.
Leatherneck. I've been on Arma since about towards the end of 2022. Been running with Captain Stroker for a while. Been doing lots of operations, different things on Arma. So
So, what, Struck, I know you just say you just joined, like, you just started, 23. What were your first units? Like, what originally got you into Milsim?
To be honest, I really kind of saw the first thing I really did see was probably the 75th Ranger Regiment. And really, whenever I took my first step into that, it was really awesome. But at the same time, I was just dumb and stupid. Just really didn't care that much about it. Me and Leather here went off and started like our own unit, which was basically just my unit, which my name originally was called Master Lucky. And we started a community off of that, doing casual Milsim operations on almost everything. We didn't really have a stuck unit yet until around the year 2020. Was it 25 or 24?
End of 24.
End of 24, yeah. Which then we started the 97th Guards VDV, Russian VDV Brigade. And from there, we kept on going and created all sorts of other things. But Seabass, you want to go on off of there?
Yeah, so I got started Milsim with Lucky. I was kind of like looking around for Game Master events to play and screw around, and he ran a good event one day. I was been hanging out with them ever since. There was a group called 11 Infantry Misfits, 11th D Misfits. I had a friend that was in that. I tried joining it. Didn't like them. I said, you know what? I kind of just want to build my own group to fight these guys and prove I'm better at planning missions, I guess. So I told Lucky, hey, there's an American team, and you never see a good like Russian unit. Back as like 24, there's not a lot of good red units. So I was like, let's just build a good red unit. So we worked hard, built a red unit, fought those guys, wiped them off the map easily, and then we said, you know, we should really make a thing where people can join and have like red teams versus blue teams and actually like run an actual war. And that's when we started making the ARW3 project, which is Arma World War III is what we were calling it basically. So we just kind of we narrowed it down to ARW3 to make it sound nicer. And then we had about 10 red units and about 15 to 16 blue units at the start of last season. And it was a pretty fun time. You know, we actually had like the map set up where we said this is phase one of the map, and if you guys all win, blue's going to push east, or if red wins, they're going to push west into the next map. So we had like a set of maps staged to push the front line back and forth. It's kind of fun.
Leather, you want to go based on how you started up?
yeah, basically we just helped within this. We try to keep running the 97th as well. So I helped with keeping that unit in the Rust 4 side. We planned out the maps. We worked with other leaders on what we're going to do, figure out our mod situations, and yeah, it was a really fun time.
All right. Uh, Is this like I know you guys just had your first just one battle yesterday, or is there like two battles?
There was one yesterday.
Like, was this like the first iteration of ARW3, or was this kind of like a second or
Uh,
third?
It was
It's
like the
the
second season.
yeah, second season. Yesterday was the first live battle of the season 2.
So, coming from Battlefield like side of the house, what really sets this apart from say other communities trying to do like PvP? Like you guys, and then there's everyone else. What pretty much sets you apart from the herd?
I would say the main thing we made different is that like you get like most of these PvP communities, they just pick a map to play on, and it's one team versus another team. Whereas in season 1 of ARW3, we had like we were being ambitious. We ran 3 theaters of operation: Europe, Pacific, Middle East. We mostly focused on Europe, but the fact that you'd have 2 to 3 teams team up for a map against another 2 to 3 teams, and try to push each other off the map, and then that didn't really dictate that you guys won or not because it's a big team fight. So let's say red team loses battle 1 with 2 units, they win battle 1 number 2 with 2 units, and then you guys are looking to the third battle see if you guys actually win the whole fight, because 1 unit does really good doesn't mean even in a real war that the whole battle is going to go your way. So we try to mock a real front line, and I guess that's what really got some of the bigger groups into playing and participating.
Yeah, along with that, on season 1, that was pretty much how it summed up to be. Now, we did also with season 2, now we kind of configured it with a new we had some moderators make some new scenarios for us that are also going to be helpful, that are going to be placed out on other maps. Like, for instance, Cool Game we played on yesterday, and I think next week we're doing like challenges. Basically you challenges for the dismounts for their units to take upon to see if they can succeed in the challenge role. Which the challenge role for next weekend that we do have planned on is the combat patrol challenge, which is basically all units are going to be patrolling into an AO and seeing if they will encounter each other and how best they can react to their own contact, basically.
Right.
But yeah, that's like the first thing that's like brand new to the table.
Yeah, and I see this as a way for Milsim groups to kind of to get to strategize and plan out how they're gonna hit objectives. I feel like it kind of makes it fun for some of the leaders and some of the guys that are in leadership positions.
How long does planning
Yeah,
go? Oh, sorry.
well, I think if your question is going to be how much planning goes into it, was that what you were going to ask?
Yeah.
So I'll give you a good example from last season. Lucky, what's the name of that map where it had like the big river going through the middle? It's like,
Big River.
yeah, where
Hmm.
we were with Bad Company. We pushed the blue team off the map.
Oh yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but
Well, so anyways,
easy.
there's a map. There's a big river running through it, a highway running on the east side of the river, and the enemy team used a lot of helicopters. So what we did is we staged a armored convoy in the center. We had a Chinese team that was good at flying in light birds. So we planned it out as if the Chinese would be our forward observer force, and they were going to slow down the enemy advance south where there was a bridge they had to cross, giving our slower Russian armor time to meet them at that bridge. And in the meantime, our unit, the 97th, we're really good at air assaults. So what we did is we packed up 2 Mi-24s and we planned it with the Bad Company and the Chinese unit. The Chinese unit, they went out first really quick. The Bad Company group, they went out behind them to establish the front line. And then we flew right to the bridge on the west near the enemy spawn point. We landed 1 helicopter, everyone threw smoke. The second helicopter was running a gun run protecting that helicopter as it landed. And as soon as that helicopter took off, the second helicopter landed, and we all had planned this out and practiced this like the night before in other maps. So we all kind of put a lot of planning into it. And so when the enemy team showed up, they couldn't push in, and then our helicopters were doing area denial. We also planned two UAS transport trucks. We loaded them with IGLAs, and we drove them to critical points on the map that gave the IGLA launcher teams good field of view. And what they would do is they would just sit there and they would deny the enemy area. So when the behind helicopters would fall back to refuel, reload, the Blackhawks would try to push in, only to be shot down by the IGLAs. So we had a layered air defense plan. We had timing preparation set up,
Pretty much
fuel
like
plan. So we put a lot into it.
Pretty much a multi-layered defense.
Yeah,
or offense, I guess.
There's three military officers playing in these like actual active duty military, playing me being one of them. So we got really good into the planning, and when we make a good plan, we'd have really good battles. And sometimes the blue team had a really good plan, they had some really good leaders, and they'd have a good battle too. It's planning is everything in this league.
So you mentioned earlier, like rehearsal. Does each team have like, do they have like a set time of when they can rehearse, like what they're gonna do, this and that?
So we try to keep it loose and free. It's on key leaders to meet other key leaders of adjacent units and say, hey, this is my plan. What's your plan? Let's build a plan. And then like we worked really well with bad companies. So sometimes they would come to our maps. We would join one of their maps, just practicing, like working together. But I would get with like the key leaders. And I'm like, all right, so what you guys are going to do is you're going to get the BTRs and the two T-72s. I need you guys to put your tanks in this general area. You guys go in your own server, practice that. My guys are practicing air assault this week. And we linked up with the Chinese group, and they just practiced doing air assaults with us. And we were using our helicopters to chase down their helicopters so they could practice avoiding enemy interdictions if they were intercepted on the way into the assault. And then we also attacked their group on our own private channel and have them practice like fending off an overwhelming force. So, and we fought them the way we thought the enemy would fight them. So we came with a lot of Humvees and Abrams tanks, and then we had them come at us the same way we thought the enemy would come at us, and it worked out because the planning was pretty spot on from what we knew the other units had played them before or watched their playtime.
Right.
Usually what we do at first is like we'll give them like we'll push out like what the area of operation is going to be, and usually that gives time for all the units to prep up and practice on how they're going to use tactics against others, and basically just using the terrain and all that just to know it all.
And also just knowing what unit you're like your spawn point, your terrain, and then you find out who your allied units are for that fight, like who your adjacent units are. So like back then, 97 VDV, we'd fight air assault. Bad company, they'd fought more light fighter with like light vehicles. We had a group playing the Chinese. They did good like light fighter movements. There's another group, 98. They were big on tanks. So just knowing how their play style is and how we can work together better was always a big part of the planning process too, which made it a lot more fun. That made every battle kind of different.
So it's like multiple units converging into one, like just your infantry unit mixed in with the armor unit mixed in with the air unit.
Yeah, it was multi-domain warfare. I don't want to sound like an officer, but it was pretty much multi-domain warfare we were working on.
Actually, pretty interesting. Because usually what we see is like past some armor units I've seen do it, but mostly it's like will be like a battlefield. Like one unit will have like a claim to infantry unit, but they also have like asset claims and all that shit. But everyone's just running on one tag. But now you have this more kind of independence. Like you got say 101 doing air assault, and you got 111th backing them up with armor and shit.
Yep.
Like how many teams are like? I know this is like your second season. Like how many teams are actually like not involved just with the unit, but like in the server?
So I don't know right now because like I just got back from the Middle East, so I'm still trying to like reacclimate to being home. Like I just got back like 20 days ago, so I'm just starting to get back into it. But back then on the old server, we had 10 red teams, like 16 blue teams, and it got really hard with like the the constraints on what we can put in a server. We had a good server though. So we also had teams have to like take one on the chin. Some of them wouldn't have all the things they wanted, and that's kind of like the big part about building the community is that some people you got to come with your hat in your hand and be willing to negotiate and do business. Take a loss, negotiate for some other things. So not everyone's going to be happy with their loadout set sometimes, but we do our best to make sure that every unit showing up has the basics of what their playstyle is. So like we want to make sure like aviation's there. We want to make sure the armor's there. We want to make sure guys that focus on, javelin teams are there. We do our best to make sure every team has like their core competency showing up to the battlefield so that they can play their playstyle. Sometimes we get in the weeds of like patches, uniforms. We got to like nix that a little bit to save space for the data. But overall, the teams that do show up and they do want to play, they're very good about negotiating their equipment. It does get challenging though.
All right. A couple things I want to add up to that question. Is this is like current modern times, or is this kind of more Cold War?
Modern Warfare.
Times. It's current Modern Warfare times. So you do see kind of like 111th does have kind of like a big advantage on most people with using MLRSs, with the drones flying overhead to mark targets with with their AI target designation that goes towards their MLRS to basically pin locate enemy locations. And you do also see the other disadvantages with other units. Basically, it's basically kind of think of it as like other SOPs of units going up against other different SOPs of units.
So like people like, what's it? I know you got like MRS. It's like they're limited to how much they can use, right?
Yes. So basically, they're limited to one bubbled artillery piece for the entire battle, which if that does get destroyed, they can't bring another one out. So they really do have to use it to whatever means necessarily without getting it destroyed. So a lot of times you'll see it maybe move around to different locations every time after firing.
Pretty much perform as shooting scoots.
Yes.
Like if there are FPV drones in there.
Yes, we do have FPV drones. Wait, 11th and Bad Company both have drone operators that do conduct drone FPV attacks on vehicles and light infantry movements, along with the using drone droppers as well, dropping mortars.
So it'd be like the ones that are like floating right above the enemy, just dropping them.
Yeah, so a funny thing, I wish I got it on video. The Bad Company saw one of the 111th Abrams hatches wide open, and they flew a drone right over it and dropped a mortar right into the hatch, killing the entire crew inside. It was the funniest thing ever I've seen the entire match.
Jeez.
The players really learn how to adapt fast. It's pretty crazy.
Especially with 111th having a tracking system built in, which it is like real life how the 111th does conduct their operations. They can track your radios and stuff, anything electronically. So really Bad Company had to adapt to not using radios to not be able to get tracked by the 111th, because they could easily take them out with the MLRS system if they were targeted easily.
Jesus, it's like almost like 9-day or.
Think of it like Alien versus Predator type of deal.
Pretty much, it's like
basically just watching you on the map with a ping on you.
Actually, no, they're gonna have to go back to using like carriers and carrier pigeons.
Oh yeah, at that point you might as well.
So, how long is each season? Like, I know this is your second one. Like, is it just like a couple battles?
Usually we try to conduct to like first season usually went on for like what was it 3.5 months?
Yeah.
Somewhere between that. Right now we're kind of like, I think I'm trying to shoot for 2 months, I think. So then like, because I do have a kind of a tight schedule before I go on deployment. And Yeah,
Me
we
going on deployment kind of like derailed
yeah
the planning last
yeah.
season because they came up last minute.
So on the first season, kind of ended a tad bit short, due to lack of staff members even being able to be there. Like Leatherneck, for instance, went towards the Marines, and I went towards going Army, and Seabass was still on deployment. So we kind of had to end the season early. And by the time I got back, we were pretty much having to reset up for ARW3's second season. Now, we did have a Discord that was set for ARW3, but I kind of went off on kind of going back and changing it to a different new project, but we're still going to conclude it being season 2. But other than that, it's basically the same system that we ran in ARW3 the first time.
So this is all pretty much the timing of all this. Like, is built around like when you guys are back home from deployments or trainings. It's like,
Oh yeah, when everybody has a free chance to even compete in it. Usually, like we were pushing for like every Saturday due to like lack of attendees and like other units having like attendance wise, really to see what day is like best for everybody to be on, just to even participate in it. So all the leadership from other units came to the agreement that Saturday would be the best day to do it.
how many units? Like, say someone's watching this on Twitch or later on YouTube. Like, someone's sees this and brings this to their chain of command. It's like, hey, this sounds interesting. Like, if they wanted to join, like, how many units would you allow into ARW3? Because I know it's somewhat of a limit.
So we ran about, I'd say 26, and we were running fine. It just, the only downside is that battles took about 2 weeks. So like one weekend is like, we'll say 5 units from the red team are playing one weekend, and then the other 5 are playing the next weekend, and then you split those battles up between NATO. So a lot of teams would come with like 20 to 30 guys. Some bring 50 per battle. So it's a matter of allowing space for each unit to fight. And then how much scheduling we got to do to like make the battle work. But we try to get a battle done in 2 weeks. So like the first week you might have 97th VDV and 98th Guards Armor Division fighting 10th Mountain and 11th Airborne. And then the next game of that day is going to be 111th and 212th versus 101st and 82nd. Following week is going to be Bad Company, SOG versus Infog versus, you know, 1st British Paratrooper Regiment and
You got
2nd French
here?
Legionnaires or something, as an example. So like we can take as many as we can. I'd say our top end till we run out of like till we need more admin help would probably be like 40 units.
As of right now, we're on the stretch of 5 right now. I do believe. I think it's 5.
Yeah, I'm starting a recruiting push. This is like my first week back. Like I said, I just got off deployment and got my eggs scrambled a little bit, so I've just been kind of like chilling out at home, but starting to get back into the swing of things finally.
Yes, usually Seabass is like our unit recruiter that goes to the units to try to recruit them.
I'm a businessman
Yes,
outside of so I'm pretty good at
Yep.
talking to people.
Yeah, basically a businessman.
So
He's a businessman for the ARW3.
So going to back to like how things are like with Stroker, with you going on deployment in the near future, like the seasons will continue under like through
The
Seabass or
season, yeah, the season would continue underneath Seabass and with the help of Leatherneck being there as well to assist. We do have a few admins that are here and there, but we do have a couple that are also going to be going on, like I know in person that might be going on, that are going to be going on deployment with me. So there would be like maybe like about about two co-owners, and then like 3 admins to be helping out.
damn, is everyone in the military in here?
A lot of us are, yeah.
Except Leather.
Some of
Except
these bigger
Leather.
units that do this kind of stuff, a lot of their leadership is either veterans or active duty.
111's leader is a captain. Is also a captain. So yeah, we do have a lot of leadership units that are basically military.
Wait, I met him. What's his name? It's not Lightning, is it?
Latino Lightning, yes, he's active duty military.
Oh, that's the captain.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm also a captain.
I got call
he,
in there.
yeah. Seabass is also a captain.
Ah, you nerd. I went the enlisted route, man. I had to
I
be
did
a
too,
doc.
but then they offered me something I couldn't refuse. Money.
You went to OCS, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a 12 Bravo for about let's see, 6 years, and then
I never understood
whenever they
Army
offered
shit. What the hell's a 12 Bravo? That's
combat engineer. I was in a sapper unit,
oh
so
I'm
breaching,
11.
light fighter stuff.
wait,
I'm 11 Bravo. I'm a striker infantry.
isn't your like school over in Fort Lee or some shit?
Mine's in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a great place to get lost.
Yeah, I've been. My cousin went through Fort Leonard Wood. I mean, honestly, you can feel the soul getting sucked out.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great place. I mean, honestly, I didn't like Missouri my first time I went there, and then when I went there for officer training, I actually learned to like the location a lot better. There's when you can actually leave the base and go explore, it's not terrible.
Uh, Sorry if I'm dropping out like way off topic. By
That's
chance,
all right.
have you ever gone down to that? I'm pretty sure it's a Missouri National Guard base near Nevada, uh, Nevada, Missouri. Fuck.
No, I never had the chance.
Yeah, it's like down near. I want to say off 49.
Well, I don't think I've ever been to Nevada. So I've been to Rolla, uh, Spring something. But one of the things I went to a lot, Lake of the Ozarks. There's an Army MWR boating facility there, and for like 150 bucks, you can get a really nice boat for the weekend and just kind of cruise on
You
the
talking
water.
about down south near towards Branson?
Yeah, Branson. Yeah,
Oh fuck yeah, I know you're talking about. I fucking been there.
yeah,
I love Branson, dude.
yeah. It's a great place.
We used to go to Taneycomo for this just to fish rainbow trout.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. There's good hunting and fishing in Missouri. Like I said, I had a great time second time around. So there's a lot to do in Missouri. And you know, I hate when people get into a military base and they stay on the base the whole time and complain about how awful it is. And I'm like, you're in a great location to go explore. You know, get in your car, drive around, see some sights, try some food.
Yeah, go.
Just
Fuck
gotta make
it.
the
You
best.
got what is it? You got that Six Flags in Pacific, Missouri. It's like not that far from Linderwood.
Yeah, no, I passed it. Yeah,
Yeah,
never went though.
I drove by it too many times, but back on the fucking track. uh, so with this season going for like you guys just started right yesterday, right?
Yeah,
So going from say
Yes.
now to say somewhere in mid-July, like
yeah, pretty much. And that's gonna give me time to plan out the next season, get lucky time to get ready for deployment, and then get more units involved. And honestly, now that I'm back and like kind of getting back into it, I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of old units and finding new ones, bringing more people into it, and kind of trying to grow the battle a little bit.
uh, it's each season. Is it all like I know you guys said you had three different maps, three different theaters in the first one, but is it the same for like the next like the second and third upcoming seasons, or is it all going to be like one map each, like each a different map each season?
So we do technically we run on like what is it, like 8 different maps in total that we do because we do like to change it up on the field of battle basically. That way you're not like consistently trying to like to do the same entire map over and over again. So it does give you like it gives you a lot more like, it makes it a lot more fun and interesting being like out in the middle of the snow in Rua and not being stuck on an island on Everon or like Kolgiv. You know, basically the standard vanilla, but we do tend to go to like Afghanistan, like on Kunar, Syria, the Syrian maps, and but yeah, we do have a lot of different maps we do go and try out, and we do also like test out to see if the mods don't like fuck the whole system up.
How how long is like the testing phase, like going from a map to just testing out all the mods that you're going to use for this season to make sure nothing really gets too fucked up? Like, how long is that trade?
Really, usually it takes only like a couple days, really. Now we do have a modder with us for this season that does help out with like that does make the scenarios for ARW3, and the scenario we just used for yesterday works perfect. And I think as of right now, he's going to be pushing out that scenario more into other maps. Like we usually plan on, like right now we're using the combat patrol challenge for this next Saturday as a way to like give more time to put the scenario into other maps. That way it's more already prepped up and ready, and also just to test to see if mods work for everything else. And it also gives us more time to get more units involved into the ARW3.
Going to yesterday's fight, how did that go? Like, did it start out rocky, or did everything pretty much like everyone loaded and things just kind of fell into place?
Well, at first it started out rocky. Now, that being said, like we had a number of attendance. We had an attendance problem with 111th, and it's all its attachments showed up. We did have a low number on the red side. Now we just win as it is, and still with Bad Company. Bad Company's always been through the same shit where they're always outnumbered. So they still 111 still had in its detachment still had a struggle just to get to those 3 points to even fight against like 7-8 guys against like 35 dudes.
They're a really excited unit to fight. So like whenever they get a chance, they really get after it. But hey, it was great talking to you guys. I actually got a little Mercy I got to take care of here, so I'll let Lucky take it from here. He's going to be talking more about the actual season now, so I kind of got the history of it in. So good luck to y'all, and thanks for coming out.
All right.
But just wanted to say goodbye. But thanks for talking. Bye.
All right. Take it easy. All right. Shit. I guess. Fuck. But when you say like they're having to fight their way just to go fight like 7 or 8 guys, like can you describe like were there like difficulties or booby traps, obstacles?
Basically, with the 7 to 8 guys coming from 97th, my attendance was a little low on the 97th due to like I said, lack of attendance from my unit, and the lack of attendance from Bad Companies. A lot of people dropped out last minute, but even still, with the 8 guys, they planned to do ambush setups against their armored units, along with doing drone strikes. Even though they only had like about 8 guys with them, they still planned on to do as much damage and to make themselves look like a much larger force than they already are. So you could, like, as I saw, they were conducting like drone strikes, and also with another guy eliminating targets that are ground forces that are also supporting their armored units, and which was also causing a big issue with them trying to capture points. And they also conducted more like ambush battles with them, with setting up like AT positions.
So kind of like Viet
And
Cong
even
stuff.
yeah, kind of like Viet Cong guerrilla style tactics really is what they were pushing towards. And even though they still did a good number of damage, they still struggled to defeat their Abrams, but they did find a way, like I said, with the mortar dropping on into one of the into the
Love to
crew's
see that.
turret, and also eliminating a couple JLTVs along with it. But they still had a big struggle because, I mean, 8 guys going up against 36 is kind of still like a heavy numbers issue. But hopefully for this next week's combat patrol challenge, it's going to be a lot different. We're going to see a lot different things happening because it's not really vehicles, it's a foot patrol really. So really they're everybody is on foot, so there's no vehicles involved. There's nothing like that necessarily like that at all. No tracks, no air, nothing. It's literally just a bunch of guys walking into a combat zone that has enemy combatants inside. Now both sides are going to be walking into the AO with their rifles, whatever they need to bring to eliminate ground units with, and they can also like bring necessarily like anything they can carry. So like they can carry mortars with them, they can carry heavy machine guns, 50 cals, whatever they need to bring. So that's necessarily the plan, and just to see whose ground units can really compete up against each other. 111's like is best with armor, but you always have to have that test to see if you're really good at doing ground fights with just going on foot.
Okay. I know. Was it? I was talking with Lightning the other day about like fucking observing that fight yesterday. It was like, shoot, we get involved. We just turn that whole. It's like some NFL sports broadcast. It had the whole theme down and everything.
Huh.
Be like Sunday or Monday night football themes popping up and
Yeah.
just show up fucking squads just going at it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, with that being said, yesterday's battle, it was kind of more on the low end of attendance, but everybody still had a lot of fun doing it, and which that's probably the best thing you can hear is everybody liking it and enjoying it and not being at each other's throats on like unfairness and all that.
Right. Oh,
Like,
oh,
what was it? First season we did have like we ran into the same issue on fairness wise. So kind of now we kind of push the rules towards more restrictiveness on how much can you really bring out until it becomes a problem. Like on the first season, like both sides, they lost a helicopter, they brought another one right behind it. So with this season being with the rules being involved with, you're not going to really be seeing much of it, and more people like trying to, value the life of like you losing that helicopter is going to be a big problem if in the long run.
um, that's about all the real questions I got for you guys today. Is there anything else you guys want to let people know about? Like, say someone's interested in bringing their unit into ARW3.
Yeah, if you're more than interested in coming in, you can come speak to me. You can always reach out to me. I'm in the NATO community. Also in the Army community with my same name as being Captain Stroker. You can reach out to us. You can reach out to Leather here. You can reach out to Seabass even. And if your unit is more than welcome to join. And if you're wanting to come hop in, you can. We just ask a few questions like how many people you can bring out on a weekend basis, and like if it's gonna like fall into like being a problem with like mods, really. But necessarily, most units like we ask like do you use RHS? Like most units usually do use RHS. So, but even with that being said, like units are more than welcome to come hop in. More than welcome to reach out, join the Discord. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us.
I did have one more question. I didn't realize it till I just asked you that one part. When it comes to this, like server population, how many people can fit in the servers? I'm not sure exactly what the max is.
As of right now, we do have a little funding issue, but as of right now, we are on a 100 slot server. Now we do like usually we do tend to like to have like a 128 slot server. Now usually what was I think last season we were in the open discussions about having two servers if everything was going well. But since we had to do a little bit of a step back and like go about our actual real life lives and all that, we kind of like are slowly coming back to where if we do end up getting more units involved, we will fund in and pitch in for another secondary server that we can run both events on at the same day.
Okay. I know of funding for a lot of army units, or Forger units in particular. It's like kind of the main topic that they concerned about. Uh, but it's actually like I told Latina when he told me about this. It's like this has to like it's reminding me of how Battlefield 4 Milsim was back in the day. Wasn't it like you know Discord or back then it was like online app and all that shit, but the major parts I usually fights wouldn't really be set up unless someone wants to do a friendly raid, but you'll have some folks go and it's like, hey you, I want your server deets for this time of day at this day and this time. Like guys, I was like, there's people that manage to find a way to make that work in Forger. And shit, the Battlefield's pretty much dead right now. But anywho, gents, Stroker, Leatherneck, I guess let Seabass know when next time you guys see him. Thank you guys for taking your time out of your evenings to come on the stream and just discuss ARW3 with us. Like I know there'll be um, some interesting folks that are maybe looking into joining just to be part of it. But
Probably.
yeah, folks, you're just joining and want to catch up on like what's going on, what's ARDB3, all that shit. We will have this video up on YouTube here in a little bit. And with that, gentlemen, it was good to see you guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.